Hello, I've been missing school. Have you been missing school? Well, you see, I've been missing your smiling faces. I've been missing your singing. I've been missing all the questions that you ask me. I've been missing your laughter. I've been missing the teachers. I've been missing just seeing you and doing things together. It's been really, really difficult. I wonder, have you been missing school too? Have you been missing your friends and your learning and playing games and school lunches and, well, just what are you missing at school? Life is certainly very different just now for all of us. This coronavirus has really changed the way we do things, the way we think, and even the way in which we act. And I know that staying at home can be very, very frustrating. You just want to be back doing things with your friends and going to the football or the brownies or the BBs or the scouts or cubs, whatever else you do, you must be missing all of those things. Do you know, some of you will know my little friend here that we call Maximus Mouse. I think some of you have heard some of my stories about Maximus, stories from church and stories that I've sometimes even told you in the school all about little Maximus. Well, let me tell you this wee story. I had an encounter with Maximus the other day. I was in church doing some recording for one of my Sunday services when who should pop up for a chat but Maximus himself. "Minister," he said to me, "where is everybody? Are they trying to tell you something? Because no one seems to be coming to church anymore. Not even the cleaner. There are no crumbs from the communion table. No dropped sweets on the floor. No sounds of laughter. No singing. Although Clotilde the organist comes in to play music. But I always stay well hidden in case I maybe frighten her." "Well, Maximus," I said, "there is a really bad thing called COVID-19. "Is that some monster of a cat that attacks people?" Maximus inquired nervously. "No, it's not a cat," I said, "Maximus. It's something called a virus that can infect people and make them very, very sick. This virus attacks the human respiratory system and makes it exceedingly difficult for people to breathe, and in some cases people have died." "Oh, that's terrible," said Maximus. "Have you got it? Is that why no one is coming to church?" "No, Maximus," I said, I'm fine. But the government has asked people to stay at home to help slow down the spread of the virus and to keep people safe. So that meant that we had to close down all our church activities, our Sunday worship, our boys' brigade, our rainbows, our brownies, our guides. We've had to cancel our summer programmes. We had to stop meeting so that we could keep people safe. And the schools, they've been shut, and shops have been shut, and restaurants have been shut, and cinemas have shut, and football grounds have been shut. In fact, almost any place where people used to gather have had to be closed. It also means that some people cannot visit their family in case one or other has the virus, and they might pass it on. The government calls all this social isolation, and has even introduced measures in terms of keeping our distance from each other, meaning we must stay at least 2 metres apart. So no hugging is allowed, even for good friends. Wow, Minister, I had no idea life was so tough in the human world. Yet, I said, Maximus, despite how hard it's been, people have really been trying to be kind to one another. We have folk in the church who have been helping people who have been isolated at home by bringing them their shopping and their prescriptions, and there are other volunteers in our community doing the same. When I was at the butcher's the other day, the butcher even gave me some sausages to help feed some of the homeless folk in the town. And people are phoning each other and talking more. And Maximus said, Mr. Murnan, that sounds a lot like the kind of things that Jesus expected people to do. Yes, Maximus, I said, it's exactly what he would expect us to do. Not just occasionally in a crisis, but all the time. Maximus said, Minister, does that butcher friend of yours have any cheese for some hungry mice? No, Maximus, I said, but I've brought you some treats. For you and your family, a couple of hamburgers, some cheese, some bread, and a couple of sweets. I'm sure that'll keep you going for a few days yet. Minister, you are the greatest, he said. Maximus, I think you're wrong there, I said. I believe Jesus is the greatest. Amen, said Maximus. Amen. Boys and girls, I hope it's not too long until we can all get back together and have some fun together. Some of our school assemblies, some of our parties and activities that we'll all miss at the end of term. I know I will miss seeing you at the end of term. So I want to say good luck, continue to take care and stay safe, and I hope that by the time we start a new term, we might be able to be back in school and back seeing some of our friends. Be careful, be safe. God bless.